Now, earlier I spoke with Delpy Neirotti, an expert in tourism and sports management at the George Washington University here in D.C. She has traveled to 56 countries studying the Olympic movement and has attended more than a dozen past Olympiads. I asked for her perspective of the London Games so far and how it compares to others.
The opening ceremonies were special in its own way, and the locals absolutely loved it, and I think they understood it a little bit better than some of the foreigners that were in the audience. But you know, each opening ceremony has its own uniqueness. I mean, and you're not going to top the precision of the performers in Beijing and just all that went into that performance. Here it was a little bit more light, more focused on pop culture, and so each one has its own special flair.
Well, you've attended a lot of Olympic Games and a lot of opening ceremonies. Is it fair to compare it to Beijing? How is the London Games going so far compared to some of the other games that you've been to?
These are my 16th consecutive Olympic Games, and I've had the opportunity to attend every opening. And, you know, you just really cannot contrast. You have the Eastern culture versus the Western culture. Transportation in both cities have gone very well. I think the organization in both places is great, and you know, so far London has, from my perspective, has done an excellent job in putting on these games. Traffic for buses is a little bit difficult because the roads are so narrow. And the one thing I must say that Beijing did such a wonderful job of decorating the city. Every time you looked around, you saw something Olympic, and you really, what I call, Olympicized Beijing. And here in central London, it's hard to tell that the games are actually happening. Out here behind me at Stratford in the Olympic Park, you definitely feel and know you're in the Olympics. But in central London, they kept the historic London flavor versus Olympicized it.
How has the security situation been so far? I know in recent days there's been a little controversy with the private security firm not hiring enough guards. Have you had any issues, or is there a sense of safety there in London?
There's a complete sense of safety, and I must say that I've never entered an Olympic stadium as fast as I did last night. There was no lineup at all, and I've talked to many people, and no matter what time you came, whether it's 5 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, nobody tended to have any backup. And they have put a lot of resources to the security. And from my perspective, everyone that I've met has been extremely pleasant as you've passed through security. So always talking to you, always nice, always, you know, just chit-chatting you while you're getting patted down or checking your bags.